Welcome back to the Top Rope Renegades YouTube channel. My name is Kurt alongside RK. We are here with this week's Smackdown review from Friday, March 22nd, 2024. But before we get into the matches, there was two things I wanted to talk about. First, we're going to be recording a separate episode, myself and RK. The Slammy Awards are back, breaking news for the WWE. And the list has been posted online by WWE. It's a fan-voted thing, so we're going to do something with that. We're going to give our own predictions. I know you're looking forward to that, RK, the Slammy Awards being back.
Yeah, no, you sent me a message earlier today about that, and I was just like, holy crap, that's awesome. I mean, I love the Slammy Awards. It gives the voice to the fans to show the love to the rest. So I love it. I'm so happy that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure WWE has posted already on their social media accounts. Voting has begun, I think, already for the awards. So we will get into that in a different episode and have that one posted. And then just a little personal news on my end. I haven't said anything about my other career I have. I'm a producer at a radio station, and it just so happened to luck into communications with All Elite Wrestling, and I will be conducting an interview with Ruby Soho, former Ruby Riott from WWE. So I will sit down in a studio and record a interview with Ruby next Friday, March 29th, or 25th. Am I right? 25th, 29th? So nervous for the interview, I don't even know what day it is. Hey, March 29th. It's March 29th.
Yeah, 7 days from now, dude.
Yep, March 29th, 11:30. I get to sit down with Ruby and talk about All Elite Wrestling coming to Indianapolis on April 17th or the 16th. I have all my dates messed up. I did not prepare to talk about this. You mentioned it right before we went live, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to talk about it.
The work on those dates because you do not want to miss that interview.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to sitting down and talking to her. I got it in just randomly with AEW and media stuff, and ended up getting myself caught up in doing an interview with her, and then on a live show on the radio network I work for, WIBC. One of the day show hosts, Rob Kendall, was open to doing an interview the day before the show in Indianapolis, and that will be a AEW superstar to be announced. There'll be somebody on the card, so I'm looking forward to seeing who that is, and I'll be helping conduct that one as well. So just some cool personal news that I came across.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I mean, I'm stoked for it, and I'm not even there. Like, this is all you, but I can't wait to hear the interview you do with Ruby. That's awesome. And here's hoping you get like Will Ospreay or something closer to the show, man.
If I get Will Ospreay in an interview session on that second one, that'd be pretty cool. The plan is to have the recordings at my disposal, and they'll probably end up here on our channels, and post those up just so people can give it a listen, and hopefully it gets some good reviews. I'm going to prepare for it and probably go over it in my head 50 times the night before. I already called into my normal job. So I'm ready to go for it. It's going to be a really cool experience. So excited for that, and excited for WrestleMania. We are on the road, and we had another Smackdown as we record tonight. What were your expectations going in before we go down everything that happened? The big bill was the face-off of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, and what was your thoughts coming into tonight about that? Were you looking forward to what they were going to say? Did you think they were actually going to be civil? What were you looking forward to?
I mean, you can't trust Paul Heyman, right? The guy is a snake, and we love him for it, but It's still Paul Heyman. He says that Roman wasn't going to show up with anybody. You can't believe that. So, I mean, we'll get to it later in the show, obviously, but I knew something was going to happen, and something happened, and I think they capped it off in the most perfect way at the end of the show. So we'll get to there, but yeah, it met my expectations 100%.
So SmackDown opened up with a match, an actual match. Normally, I feel like we've been getting a lot of promo spots. Somebody comes out and starts talking on the mic at the start of these shows, but we got right into a match. It was Rey Mysterio representing the LWO and Santos Escobar representing El Delegado Fantasma. I think I said that right. Santos, Rey. In my opinion, it was a good match. It was the good Rey Mysterio spots. Santos is actually really good in my opinion. I think we're gonna really see that once we get past WrestleMania. I think there might be a small, mid card title push coming for Santos. What was your reaction from that match before we get to the ultimate finish of it?
My reaction to that match. It started off with Rey Mysterio coming with the offense. I'm not sure 100% if there were botches on a couple of rope moves off early or if they were meant to be. I mean, Mysterio hasn't been in ring action for since late last year. I mean, the rust could be showing.
Mm.
Is Rey Mysterio getting too old to be pulling off these moves on a regular basis? I don't think so. I thought he looked as good as he could for that type of match. Santos looked amazing. And one thing popped in my mind, and this is why we love Rey Mysterio, is he did that little forward slide off the ring
Yep.
into a splash on Santos there, and it just reminded me last night we were watching a match between Mysterio and Prince Puma, as we know as Ricochet, and he did that exact same move, and I'm just like, I've never seen that before. So it was so cool to see that he pulled that move off tonight. So I mean, yeah, overall the match was good. It did what it had to do. We got a little surprise at the end of the match there. I wasn't really expecting that. So Dominic showing up there at the end. I mean, we already obviously the feud's going to be there. I mean, they're still father son, so I mean they could definitely go back to that at any point. How they're going to get there and what it means right now, I'm not 100% sure, but I kind of like where it's going because the whole Dom Ray feud is always going to be enticing because of the father son aspect.
Yeah, Dom Ray 2 at WrestleMania 101 could be the thing. I don't know if it seems that's probably where we're going with that. WWE maybe was like, man, we don't really have anything for Dom coming to Mania. Ray's back. Why not run it back one more time? Maybe add a cool little stipulation to it. Dom versus Ray, do a hair versus hair mask match, or you know, retirement match. Maybe it's a Ray retirement match, but he did look good in this match. I don't know if that retirement is coming yet for Rey Mysterio. Overall, in my opinion, it was also a pretty good match. Then we get backstage, and Bayley thanking Naomi for last week. Naomi helped out Bayley, and Bianca comes up, and she's not a fan of your favorite Bayley right now.
Yeah, no, she is not. It's very clear. Bianca's.
Is it
I don't know. Maybe.
justified? Is it justified before you get into it? Because I've noticed this with Bianca and even Drew McIntyre on Raw. Bianca's not a quote unquote heel right now. Drew obviously is. Just go through his Twitter. But Bianca, what she's saying is true. I mean, Bayley and when Bayley was in Damage Control running things, they made Bianca's life hell. So Bianca is justified in what she's saying. But is it going? I just don't know if it's going to end up going down the Drew path, because Drew was justified in this what he was saying about going after Jay in the Bloodline, and then now Drew is on the greatest run of his career. But I don't know where Bianca is going with this, but I think she's justified. I know you probably have a little bit of a different opinion because of your loyalty to Bayley.
Yes, my loyalty to Bayley is gonna show on what I have to say about this. Bianca should probably just get over it.
All right.
Because Bayley has shown she has apologized. She looked generally hurt by what Bianca said tonight. I think Bayley is turning back into that old Bayley that everybody fell in love with. And I think Bianca should just give it up. Bayley's trying to be better and Bianca's not accepting it, and I don't agree with that right now. So
Yeah, and I thought it was. I mean, it's pretty good storytelling back there. Bianca and Naomi walk off together. Naomi kind of, in my opinion, was planting some seeds. Like, Bianca was dealing with Damage Control basically by herself. Naomi saying she can't do it by herself. She's gonna need backup as well. We get the next match on the card, the OC, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows taking on Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. This is a qualifying match in I think I said the second bracket, the Smackdown bracket, whatever you want to call it, leading to the six-man ladder match main event WrestleMania match for the undisputed tag team titles.
I mean, it could be a main event. It depends
It
on the
could
quality.
be.
I mean, it's going to be a wild match, that's for sure.
Yeah. OC versus Theory and Waller. It was a good match. Carl Anderson was what stood out for me in this match. He looked really good.
Carl Anderson, is he trying to revive his career in the
Singles push?
He looked as good as he did in like the early days of New Japan, 2012 to 2013, 14 area, where Luke Gallows and Anderson were just dominating the scene with the Bullet Club. He looked amazing. I mean, that diving senton, everything. He stood out. He was the best man in that match, hands down.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was a good match overall. The ending was it was a heel win. Roll up from Theory and got his feet on the rope. Waller jumped in, grabbed his feet, held him there for the 1-2-3. Theory and Waller advance. They will face the winner of the upcoming match later in the night, Street Profits versus the Authors of Pain, on the next week's edition of Smackdown. But before we get to match number 3 on the card, we got a Braun Breaker hype package, and first off, it was an amazing video package showing off everything that's great about Braun Breaker. He's going to be a main event star.
He is what I would call a specimen. He's the perfect package. I mean, what can't you love about that? He's got charisma, he's got power, he's got speed, he's got the wits about him. He can cut the promos, everything about him. Love him. He's a Steiner. I loved the Steiners back in the day, Big Papa Pump and the Bulldog Rick Steiner. Like, I love it. I love what they're doing with him. Keep pushing him, push him to the moon, put the title on him. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, Braun, normally the rite of passage is, you give him a singles title first, U.S. title or intercontinental title, maybe a tag title run. No, I think you can put him in the main event picture, which is very interesting because potentially out of WrestleMania, it's going to be Cody Rhodes as the world champion or even Roman Reigns. I mean, it's still in my head. Either of those matches sound amazing. Braun Breaker versus Roman Reigns. Are you kidding me? That'd be fantastic. And even Braun versus Cody would be incredible. So this leads us to Naomi versus the women's champion Io Sky. This is the get back from last week where Naomi came out and helped Bayley. It was the ending we'll get to in a second. Naomi came out first. Io's music hit. Damage Control comes out. No Io. And then we go back to backstage, and Io is just beating down Bayley right before the match.
Why are they always picking on Bayley?
That's what I was like. What's your opinion on that? There you go.
This is killing me. Let's get Bayley some good spots coming up soon. The match at WrestleMania is going to be heated. It's going to have a lot of fire behind it. It's going to be a great match. I honestly think, and you even mentioned it, I mean, it has potential to be a banger. Like, we're talking 4 to 5 stars. Io can fly. Bayley is great in the ring. I think with the story behind it and the animosity and everything, they could put on the sleeper match for best match at WrestleMania, I think. So.
Good match, and it was a typical end. Io gets the win with the help of Damage Control distracting Naomi, and then of course we get the heels. The heels, Damage Control beating down on Naomi, and out to the rescue comes Bianca. And I'm thinking, okay, Bianca gets the beat down, and then the numbers prevail. So when I saw this, when I see this leads into what happens right after we go to the next break with another hype video, Bianca beat down, Naomi beat down. The numbers game is too much, and I think if you want to do something with Damage Control, you have a tag match. So you got Bianca and Naomi versus the Kabuki Warriors and Dakota. They need one more person, and that one more person may come in the form of the next video we get, that officially Jade Cargill is on Smackdown, and she'll make an appearance as a superstar for the first time next week as a Smackdown superstar. I'm very excited for Jade Cargill.
Yes, I'm not quite on that 100% hype train like you are for her.
No.
I think she's gonna do great. I'm not 100% sold on her ring work. I mean, all I got to go off of is what I saw in AEW. She is fresh, and I think, with the proper development, which the WWE
Hmm.
has been doing, they've kept her off the cards.
Yep.
I would assume to keep her training constantly,
Hmm.
and I have trust in Trips. If he says she's ready, she's ready. So
Yeah.
I want to be proven wrong. I want to see her come out. I want to see her be absolutely dominant and just kill it in whatever she does. So
I,
I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
I believe in you. I believe what you said there. Triple H and WWE, I think, are doing the right thing. She had her AEW run, which was good, and then they wanted her to conform to the way WWE does things, and they have, I'm assuming, been working with her constantly to get her ready for this. She had her showcase moment at the Royal Rumble. Hell, she almost won the Royal Rumble. And for a second, I thought she might. I was like, oh, this is it. They're giving her the push. She ended up not winning, obviously. Bayley gets the win. I think the Jade hype is real in my mind. There's people on wrestling Twitter, which is the most toxic place on social media, but saying, well, where's Jade Cargill? Why is Jade Cargill not on the show? Why are we not showing Jade? What was the point of signing her? You just signed her in spite of AEW. No, because those are the exact same people that if they
If
brought
there's
Jade in and pushed her, that they would be like, oh, now they're just pushing Jade down our throats, blah, blah, blah. There's no middle ground with some of these people on Twitter.
if there is if there's one thing the WWE does not do is sign people out of spite,
Hmm.
because if the WWE really wanted to push their weight around, they would have threw out the big money to get Okada and Osprey.
Right.
They would have done it. They do their things their way. AEW does their things their way. I love both shows right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, they are making sure Jade is ready. They don't want her to fail. They believe in what she can bring to the business, and they're gonna make sure she's 100% ready. I have total faith in Trips on this one.
Then we get a nice little moment backstage, a nice little comedic relief moment. Kevin Owens talking to Nick Aldis. By the way, speedy recovery to Nick Aldis. The reports are that he tore his pec and he looked pretty bandaged up. So hopefully Nick Aldis gets better soon, but he's still there. He's still pushing through on TV. Kevin Owens asking him why did he have to find out what night his match is on on Logan Paul's podcast and all that. And the Pretty Deadly shows up. You weren't the biggest fan of Pretty Deadly. I think they might have grown on you just after this moment here. Run down exactly what you liked from this little segment backstage with Kevin Owens, Pretty Deadly, Nick Aldis.
I love Kevin Owens. He's been a favorite of mine for a long time. He has the comedic timing of a genius. Just how he's like, "Oh, you guys want to go? You guys want to go? You guys want to talk? This is my conversation." I was like, "Well, how? Let's have a tag team match." And they're like, "Oh, who are you gonna tag? You don't have any friends?" It's like, "Well, I don't have any friends, but I have acquaintances that might, want. Hey, man, you want to have a tag team match next week?" And then who's standing right next? And for the love of me, I cannot remember the actual names of Pretty Deadly. It shows how much I've really paid attention to them. But you're right, they did jump up a notch because when Randy Orton appeared and the way Buddy just like, holy crap, I laughed my ass off. That was hilarious, and just it's so good. It's Kevin Owens. Protect that man at all costs. He kills it when it comes to being a funny guy. I love it.
Yeah. Pretty Deadly is Elton Prince and Kit Williams. Elton Prince, the blonde one, Kit Williams, the other. And then there was the slight moment where they walk off together. Well, Randy shows up and he's friendly with Elton and Kit, and he's like, "Oh, that jacket you're wearing, my old man used to wear it all the time." And
Yeah.
Elton's like, "Oh, we could be friends. We could be friends." And he's like, Randy's like, "Hey, Kevin, you said next Friday tag team? Sure." And he's like, "Ah, never mind." And Kevin Owens does a nice little callback. He walks away, then he comes back and he punches both of Pretty Deadly at the same time, two people with one punch, and walks off gloating to Randy that, hey, I did it, Randy. Kevin Owens is gold. He is fantastic.
Yeah, I love it. Nick Aldis like, oh, you guys might not want to stand so close together.
Yep. Yep, that was a really good moment. And then we get another fantastic moment where a nice throwback, old school, I guess I could call it, fantastic build to WrestleMania. A nice little LA Knight AJ Styles moment. I know you're a big fan of these, so I will let you take it away with this.
Yeah, so we saw the coming up next, and it's LA Knight in cuffs, and we're both like, Wait, are they? No. Pillman? Let's go. And I watched that show when it originally aired, the Raw that happened on, and I'm just like, I can't believe you're doing it. When Austin shows up at Pillman's house and he's got a gun, and oh man, I'm just this whole promo, like who's honking my horn? He goes out, it's LA. Oh, you won't come to the show? I'll come to you. And then they start going. I just like 100%. I mean, I don't know anything on the inside, but this Bruce Pritchard, I feel like he had his hands all over this one because I know from listening to his podcast, Something to Wrestle With, he the whole Pillman Austin thing was his thing, and he did that whole thing. I just feel like this is Bruce Pritchard just going, let's get some let's throw a little nostalgia into this, but also push this. I loved it. I loved it. It brought me right back to the Attitude Era, and I absolutely loved it.
Yep, and LA Knight in the back of the cop car screaming at AJ saying, if you don't want to come to SmackDown, I'll be back here next week. So I'm looking forward to SmackDown to see if AJ shows up or if we get another nice little home invasion type deal with LA Knight and AJ Styles.
This whole thing is a perfect example of you don't always need a title to push a rivalry. This AJ Styles LA Knight thing could turn out to be one of the biggest things for WrestleMania. So let's go.
Let's go indeed into the final match of the night, the quote-unquote main event match, the main event of the evening. Roman and Cody face-off, of course, going to close the show. Street Profits representing the Pride, taking on the Authors of Pain representing the Final Testament. Overall, I thought it was a good match. It really showcased to me why I believe and love Montez Ford so much. He's so athletic. Angelo Dawkins, also athletic, sneaky athletic. People look at him and like, it's just a big guy. No, he's got some quickness about him. He's got that football background, and the dynamic worked really well going up against the bigger individuals of Akam and Razar of Authors of Pain. Overall, I thought it was a good match. What was your takeaway?
Montez Ford is going to be a star. He already is a star. I think he'll dominate the singles category one day. I mean, at the moment, where do you throw him in? It's hard. Everybody's killing it in all areas of WWE right now. So, yes, let's keep Montez and Angelo going. They're a great tag team. They always put on amazing matches. They're athletic as all hell. I love seeing them together. This match had a crazy spot in it, too, from Montez. Just shows his star power. That suicide flip over the top rope, caught by AOP, and then powerbombed in Angelo. I thought that was a really cool spot. Overall, good match. Did what it had to do. It furthered along the rivalry between the Final Testament and the Pride. And I think, we're going to get a finish to that at some point. Everything's moving along. The tournament's moving along for that big six-pack ladder match at WrestleMania. It's looking good. It did what it had to do. Only downside to that match, and I hope that this is not becoming a thing again, but we had a roll-up finish, and that's the second time tonight, and I just do not like that. This isn't 2017. Let's not have that happening again.
Yeah, I agree. It made sense in the Theory Waller versus OC match because it was like a heelish way, and the roll up. I was like, kind of a weird ending, but whatever. Street Profits advance. They get the win. They'll be taking on Waller and Theory next week on SmackDown to see who gets to go to WrestleMania in that six-pack ladder match challenge at WrestleMania. So, seeing everything cleans up, and then we get what we all were tuning into SmackDown to see. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, facing off against Cody Rhodes. Roman, music hits first, comes on down, kind of gets straight to the point after he takes his long walk, gets to it. It's the microphone, tells him acknowledge him, and let's get Cody Rhodes out here. It kicks off. I like the way it starts. Cody and Roman tells him, I kept my word. I'm the tribal chief. I stick to my word. I'm a man of my word. But Cody, did you? And Cody's response was, if you came alone, then I came alone. And I thought that was a really, really, it wasn't a yes or no. It was, if you did, I did. I like that.
Yeah, it was a cool little, hands behind their back and crossing your finger moment,
I'm not going to show you my cards.
Cody said it was a smirk too,
Yeah.
and that smirk is infamous with his more heelish side, if you'd want to say. We all love Cody for his heel tactics back in the day, but right now he is the babyface of the company. He is standing up against the big dog of the company. It was a beautiful stare down. I loved it.
Yeah, Roman gets into it, just calling Cody a fool, saying he's a fool, he's an idiot. Why are you trusting Seth Rollins? You're trusting the guy that that hit me in the back, a guy that says he's gonna be your shield. He turned on me when we were a part of the shield. We did bad things together. He put a steel chair to my back. He turned on me. How do you trust Seth Rollins? And Cody goes down and he looks at him. He said, "Are you trying to educate me on who the Shield was? I know who the Shield was. I know all of that. Let me ask the people. Should I trust Seth Rollins?" And of course, the crowd cheers loudly for that. And he tells him, he's like, "Do you remember Roman, who beat the Shield, who took down that undefeated Shield?" And you took some notes from this. And who was it exactly that took down the Shield?
So the first win against the Shield, it was a tag match between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, and then the Rhodes brothers, Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes,
Mm-hmm.
Gold Dust, as we all know him back in his WWE
And
days.
you weren't really watching during this time, right?
No, I wasn't. So
That
I did.
fight,
I had to
sorry.
think about it because I'm like going,
Yeah.
did they beat? Like I thought that the first beat would be Team Hell No,
Yeah.
Kane, Bryan, and Orton, but that
Mm-hmm.
was a trios. The first
Yeah.
beating of the Shield was a tag match, so that's where I got a little confused in what Cody
Mm-hmm.
said because I'm like, I'm not 100% sure that's true, but it is. So
Yeah, they were. I think they were billing Cody and Dustin as the Rhodes Dynasty. Dusty was with them as well, and it was the Rhodes Dynasty. It was Cody. He kind of went with the babyface route because he was going against the corporation, or at the time it was the Authority. He was sounding out against them, so it kind of gave him a little babyface run. And as you said, they were technically they were not technically, they were the first. It was a tag team two on two, but the first loss the Shield name got was against the Rhodes Dynasty at Battleground.
yes, it was, and it was a pretty important match too because it's what got the Rhodes their jobs back in the
Yes.
WWE. And then they went on a week later to win the titles from the Shield, and then they flipped back and forth throughout the rest of the year. Those title matches going
Mm-hmm.
back and forth. It was a good feud. It was a good feud.
So from there, and then there was a little spot. Roman does call Cody a politician. You come out here in your suits, and I watched Pat McAfee's show earlier in the day before this, and he said the same thing on Pat's show. He said Cody's a politician. He just showed up here in his three-piece suit, looking all fancy, kissing babies and whatnot. I'm here in my relaxing sweatshirt, and I'm hanging out on Pat's show. I'm not a politician, and called Cody a politician, and then Cody retorted with asking him, "Well, who's in charge around here? Is it the tribal chief, or is it the final boss?" Planting those seeds of, who's really running the show around here. And my favorite part of this, before we get to the end of all this, was Roman calling Cody number two, the greatest number two of all time. And Cody's response was, "I've came to the terms that my kids, your kids, Roman, are going to want to be the next Roman Reigns. The next generation is going to be the next Roman Reigns. And I've came to terms with that. But that's your destiny, Roman, is to be the next big thing, the next one people want to be. And I'm the one that's going to end you at WrestleMania." Fantastic way to wrap up the conversation.
Yes, it was. I mean, it just Cody always takes that road. He respects what Roman has done in the
Mm-hmm.
WB. Everybody has to respect what Roman has done.
Yes.
Yeah, he may not be a full-time defend the belt every week kind of guy, but when he shows up, he does his business and he does it better than anybody else. He has been on top of his game for the last 4 or 5 years, and it shows. The man is phenomenal at what he does. And yes, in 10 years from now, we're going to look back at this era per se and look at it and be like, damn, was he he was as good as Hulk Hogan. He was as good as Bruno. He was right up there with those guys in that range.
That's where I think, if Cody wins at WrestleMania, Roman goes away for a while, and when Roman comes back, he's gonna get cheered loudly. And when he does come back, and he will get cheered, if it's that long of a period where he's not around, he's gonna get a big pop. He's gonna get the big cheers, and that's just gonna prove to everybody that is actually a legit Roman Reigns hater. Like, at the end of the day, this is professional wrestling. You said it best. We got to respect what the guy's done. I think that the fans, it'll show right then and there, because the same thing happened with Cena when he was getting booed out of the building. Cena sucks, and but every time he came back after he was done being full time, he gets the big cheers. So that I can't wait 10 years down the line to revisit this and be like, yeah, Roman really was that guy. And then we get the Cody being the ever so Cody Rhodes gentleman, extending his hand for a handshake, wishing Roman luck at WrestleMania, and Roman doing what he does best, walking away and having a nice little moment with Paul Heyman, shaking Paul's hand. He's not going to shake Cody's hand, but he'll shake Paul's hand, and goes to snap his fingers at the ramp like Thanos, and he didn't come alone. We knew Roman wasn't coming alone. Here comes Solo. Here comes Jay. It's what we expected, right?
Here comes Solo. Here comes Jimmy.
Sorry, they're twins. I get it mixed up sometimes.
It's all good. I do the same thing, man. Yeah, no, Roman ain't showing up alone. No, he's not. He's the biggest heel. He's gonna have his boys with him. Where Roman is, Jimmy and Solo too far behind. It was a guaranteed thing. And as we found out, I think Cody was expecting that.
He was. Right before we get to that, I wanted to remember the little part right before Roman snapped his fingers. There was a woman right there next to him, and they tried to bleep it on my screen. They failed.
I got it on mine.
And she said, "Wow," and very calm, this woman. "Wow, you need an arena full of strangers to acknowledge your bitch ass?" I was like, "What the hell?" So calm, cool,
somebody get that woman a job. Somebody get that woman a job.
Roasting Roman, and as you said, Cody expected it. And he looked bewildered. He's like, "Oh no, here they come. They're gonna jump me." And then he smiled. And here on the sides, coming through the crowd, Seth freaking Rollins and Jay Uso coming to the side of Cody Rhodes to give us a stare down for WrestleMania. Just the building up, and it was a cool little callback when, not really, a callback to a minutes ago when Cody said, "Yeah, Roman, if you kept your word, you came alone." Or he said, I if you came alone, I did too. And lo and behold, Cody knew. Cody knew what was going on. You can't trust Roman Reigns. And that stare down was spectacular.
Am I crazy for wanting to heel Cody Rhodes again? That smirk, every time I see it, I just go back to his Bullet Club New Japan days. I mean, he's so good. He's so good right now, but I love Cody.
If Cody loses at WrestleMania again, he needs to dye his hair back black and just go full heel, scorched earth.
But
I'm just saying, it'd be fantastic. And you did mention Bullet Club, and that was the slight thing I totally forgot about. Is he said, "What? Let me look at my cuffs," and he had bullets. Bullets were the cuffs for his undershirt under his jacket. He had the bullets. I thought that was a nice little touch. He's always gonna have the Bullet Club with him. He did it when he won the Royal Rumble, putting the gun at the WrestleMania sign, blowing the smoke. Bullet Club is a big part of him. It probably was a part of that changed his life when he went to New Japan and joined him. So you get to stare down, planting the seeds. Beautiful way to end Smackdown, just keeping the road to WrestleMania as hot as ever. And I am so excited for night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania. We're almost there. We are almost there.
Yeah, we're so close. 2 weeks out. And coming out of this WrestleMania, out of the both nights, I mean, we could have a completely different landscape in WWE. Every title realistically could change hands. Every title match, you legitimately cannot pinpoint who's going to win because there's
if I had to choose one right now that won't change hands, the only one that comes to mind that I think of that maybe wouldn't change is Gunther losing the Intercontinental Championship. That's it. All the other ones, big question mark.
Yeah, and that's what's exciting about this WrestleMania. And when we get
Unpredictable.
to WrestleMania 50, everyone's going to be like, "Oh, is this going to be as good as WrestleMania 40?" 40 has the potential to be the best WrestleMania. I mean, everything, the build up, the stories leading into it, everything has a meaningful story behind it. Everything has so much hype behind it. We have so many dark horses that could just put on
Hmm.
big, huge matches that could outshine the two main events. Who knows? Every match has potential to be huge. I mean, we're living in an era where we might just be in the best era of
Yep.
wrestling at the moment. It's so good.
Can't wait. Looking forward to it. So that is your SmackDown recap results review from March 22nd, 2024. Just a couple little notes before we get out of here. We are going to be recording after we take a little break here, and we're going to go through the Slammy Awards. You have not read the list. I mentioned it to you, and we'll give our little predictions who we think are personal, who should win each award. It is a fan vote. It's already started. You can go to WWE.com, and it is right there. You can vote for the Slammy Awards. So happy that they are back. As well as a little note for me, I will be sitting down next Friday with Ruby Riot to talk about AEW Dynamite coming to Indianapolis, as well as the Dynasty pay-per-view, and just the landscape and how she's feeling with AEW at the moment, because AEW is hot, WWE is hot, pro wrestling is on fire right now. If you were a fan and you went away like so many of us have done, now's the perfect time to come back because pro wrestling is so good right now.
Yeah, and remember, it's Ruby Soho now. So,
Yeah, I will make sure I'm on top of that when it comes to the interview. Ruby
yeah,
Soho, Ruby Riot, Lafayette, Indiana. So shout out to that. Shout out to her. Great SmackDown. Great week of wrestling. Can't wait till Monday. And yeah, so that'll wrap things up for us here on the Top Rope Renegades podcast. What's our star rating right now?
well, right now I'd say we're probably sitting at like a 4.5, 4.75.
Not
But I
bad.
mean, if we were in the Tokyo Dome, we'd easily be a 5 star.
You're damn right we would.